If we are given an acceleration time graph, how can we use that to plot the velocity time and the position time graph? That's what we want to explore in this video, so let's begin. Okay, so where do we start? Well, we know that average acceleration is basically rate of change of velocity. And if we rearrange this equation, we get change in velocity as average acceleration multiplied by the time interval. So look, I can use that to calculate how much the velocity of an object has changed. So for example, if I consider from 0 to 2 seconds, the acceleration is -1. So the average acceleration is -1 meters per second square. And the time interval is 2 seconds. And therefore, the change in velocity of this object from 0 to 2 seconds is -2 meters per second. Now remember, this is not the velocity, it's the change in velocity. It tells me that the velocity is reduced by 2 meters per second, okay? All right, now the question is, what does this represent geometrically? Well, let's see. The -1 meters per second square over here is basically the length of this rectangle, and the 2 second is basically the width. So look, when we multiply these two, we are multiplying the length with the width, we are getting the area. So this represents the area of this rectangle, which means the area under the acceleration time graph gives us change in velocity. But important, it is a signed area. We have to take care of the signs. Now this is awesome because look at what this means, okay? Here, the shape was a nice rectangle, okay? So we could directly use algebra to figure this out. But what if it wasn't a nice shape? What if we had a shape that looked like this? Now how would we calculate the area over here? Well, we can divide this into tiny, tiny rectangles, calculate the area of each of these tiny rectangles, and then add them up. In other words, we now have to do a summation. This is the acceleration at each point, and you're multiplying the acceleration with the tiny width of each rectangle, and then we're adding them up, okay? But of course, this is not an exact value because look, there are gaps over here. So this is an approximation. Now that approximation will get better if we use tinier and tinier width and use more rectangles and you do more summations. And then eventually in the limiting case where the width is approaching 0, delta t is approaching 0, this summation ends up becoming perfect. And now we call this an integral. To be specific, a definite integral. So this means in general, integrating the acceleration over time gives you change in velocity. And what it represents geometrically is basically the area under the AT graph. And by the way, these are the bounds of the integral. Over here, for example, t1 would be 0 and t2 would be 2. It tells me from where to where we are evaluating the area. Okay, now that we know how to figure out the changes in velocity, let's see if we can use that in our original problem to plot the velocity time graph. So let's start with 0 to 2 seconds. We already computed that the change in velocity is -2 meters per second. It's basically the area of this particular rectangle. So from that, how can we plot the velocity time graph? Well, I know from 0 to 2 seconds, the velocity has reduced by 2 meters per second. What I don't know is what the initial velocity is. That information is not given here. So that is something that we need to have. And let's assume in this particular example that the initial velocity was 0. Then I know at the end of 2 seconds, that velocity reduces by 2, which means from 0, it becomes -2 meters per second. So I know my graph starts from here and ends over here. But what would that graph look like? Is it going to be a curve? Is it going to be a straight line? How do I figure this out? Well, remember that the slope of this graph gives me the acceleration, right? And I know that the acceleration is a constant, which means the slope needs to be a constant. In other words, it needs to be a straight line. So now I have figured out that the velocity time graph for 0 to 2 seconds should look like this. Constant negative slope, as you can see. Okay, and by the way, what if the velocity was not 0? What if the velocity was, let's say initially, let's say it was 5 meters per second? Well, then the graph would have started here, and at the end of 2 seconds, it would have reduced by 2 from 5 to 3. So this is what it would have looked like, okay? So depending upon the initial velocity, which is not given over here, just to be clear, it is something that we need to know. Depending on that, the graph can shift. But anyways, for our purposes, let's assume that the initial velocity was 0, okay? So this is the graph from 0 to 2 seconds. Okay, what would the graph look like? Let's proceed now. What does it look like from 2 to 5 seconds? What is the change in velocity over here? Why don't you pause the video and think about this and then see if you can, continue this graph. All right, so from 2 to 5 seconds, the acceleration is 0. So I immediately can say that the velocity is not changing. You can also see that there is no area. So the change in velocity is 0. What does that mean? That means from 2 to 5 seconds, the velocity stays whatever it was. It's constant. It was -2 at the beginning of this. It means from 2 to 5, it stays -2 meters per second. Okay, let's proceed. What would the change in velocity look like from 5 to 7 seconds? Well, we have to calculate the area under this graph. And what's the area over here? Well, it's 2 times 1, that is plus 2. So the change in velocity now is 2 meters per second. So velocity increases by 2 meters per second from 5 to 7 seconds. So at end of 5 seconds, we are at -2. If it increases by plus 2, it goes to 0. So at the end of 7 seconds, it needs to go to 0, which means my graph goes from here to here. And again, since the acceleration is a constant, the slope of this graph needs to be a constant. Does that make sense? Therefore, it needs to be a straight line. Okay, let's proceed. Again, feel free in between to pause and continue and finish this yourself. But anyways, let's proceed. So 7 to 9 seconds, again, there is no acceleration. Change in velocity is 0. So the velocity stays the same. It was 0 at 7 seconds. So until 9 seconds, the velocity stays 0. And then from 9 to 14 seconds, what is the change in velocity? Well, we'll calculate the area under this graph. Well, how much would that be? Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 1, that's 5. So change in velocity is 5 meters per second. So it increases by 5. So we are at 0. By the end of 14, we need to increase by 5. So we go to 5 meters per second is a straight line. And that is how we build the velocity time graph. All right, now that we have the velocity time graph, how can we use this to predict what the position time graph looks like? Well, we know that average velocity is the rate of change of position. So if we rearrange this equation, we will get the change in position as the product of average velocity and time interval. This is just like before. This represents the area under the velocity time graph. And just like before, in general, what we can do to find this area is we can take tiny, tiny rectangles and we can then sum it up, and that will give you an approximate value. And then if you take the limiting case where the delta t is approaching 0, you get the perfect value, and that represents the integral. So look, integral of the velocity over time gives you change in position. And geometrically, it's the area under the velocity time graph. So I can use that to calculate how much the position has changed, and from that, I can figure out what the position time graph looks like. So let's go ahead and use this to draw our position time graph, okay? All right, so let's start with 0 to 2 seconds because I can see a nice triangle over here. What is the area over here? Well, the area of a triangle is half times the base, which is 2 seconds, times the height, which is -2. Take care of the signs, okay? And that ends up being just -2 meters. So the change in the position is -2 meters. So what does that mean? How do I draw the graph? Well, again, I need to know what the initial position is. That's not given to me, all right? So let's assume that the initial position is 0. There's no reason for it to be 0. We're just assuming it, or it needs to be given to you. That information has to be given. But let's say in this particular case, it's 0, okay? Then I know at the end of 2 seconds, the position reduces by 2 meters, which means from 0, at the end of 2 seconds, it'll come down to -2. Okay, so my graph starts from here and ends over here. But the question is, what does that graph look like? Is it a straight line? Is it a curve? Well, can it be a straight line? Well, remember, this time the slope of the position time graph gives us the velocity. If it was a straight line, the slope would be a constant. That would indicate the velocity is a constant. But clearly the velocity is not a constant. It's increasing from, it's reducing from 0 to -2. Therefore, it cannot be a straight line. The slope needs to be changing, and therefore it has to be a curve. So what kind of a curve would it look like? Well, let's just try. Maybe the curve looks like this. Do you think this is the right curve? Pause and think about it. All right, here's how I like to check it. Think about what the slope over here looks like. Well, we'll draw a tangent line and think about its slope. Look, it has a very high negative slope, which means this represents a very high negative velocity at time t equals 0, which is clearly not the case. The velocity at time t equal to 0 is 0. So clearly, immediately I know this is wrong. And look, the slope goes from some negative value to 0, which is not what's happening over here. It's exactly opposite. We're going from 0 to a negative value. So this is not the right curve. The right curve should be in such a way that it should start with 0 slope and then it should have some negative slope at the end over here. And that curve looks like this. Again, we can double check over here. See, initial slope is 0, so the velocity is 0. And then look what happens to the slope as we go forward. It becomes steeper and steeper in the negative direction. And that's exactly what we want over here. So from 0 to 2 seconds, that's what the graph looks like, okay? Feel free to pause the video and think about what the graph looks like for the next 3 seconds, from 2 to 5 seconds, okay? Pause and think about it. All right, so I'm gonna now calculate what the change in position from 2 to 5 seconds is. For that, we need to calculate the area, and that's a nice rectangle for us. So the area would be 3 times minus 2, that is minus 6. So the change in position is minus 6 meters. Position reduces by 6 meters further, okay? So that means at the end of 5 seconds, the position further reduces by 6 meters. It was already minus 2. If you further reduce it by 6, it goes to minus 8. So by the end of 5 seconds, we have to come here. But again, how does the graph look like? How does it go from here to here? Well, this time, notice the velocity is a constant, meaning the slope of the position time graph should be a constant. Constant slope is a straight line. So that means the graph is going to be a straight line. Beautiful, right? Okay, let's do the next couple of seconds. From 5 to 7 seconds, how much is the change in position? Well, that's the area under this triangle, and which is the same as this triangle area. So it's half into base. So base is 2, height is also minus 2, and half into base into height will give you again minus 2 meters. So that means the position by the end of 7 seconds further reduces by 2 meters. From minus 8, it will go to minus 10. How does the graph look like? Well, this time, notice we should start with a very high, we should start with a negative velocity and end with 0. So we start with a negative slope and the slope should go to 0. And so the graph would look like this, and we can confirm the slope is going to 0, okay? All right, from 7 to 9 seconds, what is the change in position? Well, this time there is no area. So the area under the curve is 0, so change in position is also 0. So the position is going to stay wherever it was. So it was at minus 10 at the end of 7 seconds. Until 9 seconds, the position will stay the same. So your graph will just be a straight line that looks like this. The slope remains 0 because velocity remains 0, okay? Finally, from 9 to 14 seconds, how much is the change in position? We'll evaluate the area under this big triangle. And how much would that be? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 times half. So that's 25 divided by 2. So that's 12.5. It's positive. So the change in position is 12.5 meters. That means now the position increases by 12.5. It was already at minus 10. If you add 12.5, it would go to 2.5. So by the end of 14 seconds, our graph should end up over here. And how should that graph look like? Well, the velocity is increasing. So the slope should go from 0 to some positive value. So our curve looks like this, and you can confirm the slope increases. Okay, so let's see if we can visualize this. Let's say that these graphs represented the motion of a car. Okay, so what would the motion look like? Let's assume the car's initial position is over here, and its initial velocity at time t equals 0, the velocity is 0. Let's also assume that the forward direction is positive for positions, velocities, and acceleration, and the backward direction to be negative, okay? And this is just a convention. We are free to choose our own conventions, but under these circumstances, under these conventions, what is the graph saying? Well, the graph says, look, for the first couple of seconds, the car has a constant negative acceleration. So the car starts accelerating in the negative direction. Then for the next 3 seconds, it has 0 acceleration, meaning it moves with constant velocity. For the next couple of seconds, it then have a positive acceleration, then again 0 acceleration, and then again positive acceleration. So let's see what that animation looks like. So are you ready? The car starts accelerating in the negative direction, and now its acceleration goes to 0. It's moving with constant velocity. But now look, The car is still moving in the negative direction, so its velocity is still negative, but the acceleration has become positive. Since acceleration and velocity are in the opposite directions, the car slows down. And eventually, it comes to a stop, the acceleration goes to 0, and now look, the acceleration becomes positive again. But this time, even the velocity is positive because the car is also moving in the positive direction. With both pointing in the same direction, this time, the car speeds up. So it keeps speeding up. The animation is a little choppy, but you get the point. Okay, let's repeat the same animation, but this time let's concentrate on the velocity. Again, the forward direction is positive velocity, backward direction is negative velocity. So at time t equals 0, the velocity is 0, okay? As time passes by, its magnitude increases in the negative direction. Now its magnitude stays a constant. Now its magnitude reduces, it goes to 0, the car comes to a stop, and now the velocity becomes positive, its magnitude keeps increasing, so the car keeps speeding up. This time, let's look at the position, okay? As time passes by, look, its position is negative and its magnitude is increasing. Once it hits -10, it stays a constant for a while, and then it decreases, the magnitude decreases, goes to 0, and then it increases again in the positive direction. Now we'll look at the same animation one final time, but we'll look at all the 3 vectors together. Are you ready? Here goes. There it is. Acceleration, velocity, and positions. All 3. Cool. So, long story short, when you have an acceleration time graph, if you find the area under the curve, you get the change in velocity. This also represents the definite integral of the acceleration over time. Using these changes in velocity, we can plot the velocity time graph. And now if you calculate the area under the velocity time graph, you end up with changes in position. And that represents the definite integral of velocity over time. And using these changes in position, we can plot the position time graph.